Is the market crashing? Are we going into a recession? Should you hold off buying and selling at this time? I'm Maureen Folan, broker owner of the Maureen Folan Real Estate Group. I've been selling homes in Queens for over 25 years. Today, I want to share with you the real data of what is happening in the marketplace, not what you're seeing on the media. So first things first, are we in a housing recession? A housing recession occurs when home sales decline. It is true that the number of sales have declined since the beginning of the year, but there are two main reasons for that. One being the increased interest rates, and the second reason being the increased construction costs. Yes, the real estate market has shifted, but that doesn't mean that home values are dropping or we are crashing. Over the last 2 years, the real estate market accelerated at an incredibly fast pace, and we've all heard the saying that nothing lasts forever, and the same holds true here. It wasn't a question if things would slow down, but rather when they would slow down. Let's rewind to the earlier stages of the pandemic. Back in 2020, the Feds lowered the interest rates to the high 2s, low 3s, even going as low as 2.6 in December 2020, which was the lowest we've ever seen in recent history. The reason that the Feds did this was to stimulate the economy and stimulate house sales. Because of low interest rates, affordability increased and many buyers jumped on the opportunity of home ownership. Because people were able to work remotely, many buyers moved to many different markets, and those markets increased a higher number of transactions, which resulted into higher sales prices. Many markets increased 20 to 30% annually, and as we could all understand, that kind of growth is just not sustainable when it comes to home values. So fast forward to the present, we are at a stage in the economy where inflation is at an all-time high, and the way that the Fed can control this is to raise the interest rates. When it comes to housing, the Fed's actions are working. Over the last 6 decades, their strategy has always been to increase the rates to control inflation. Let's talk about interest rates. Despite recent hikes, today's 30-year mortgage is still below average from a historical perspective. The main industry source for mortgage rates between April 1971 and October 2022, the 30-year fixed averaged just under 8%. In 1981, mortgage rates were 16.63%. In 2000, mortgage rates were 8%. In 2008, mortgage rates were 6.3%. In 2016, mortgage rates were 3.65%. More specifically, in 2022, this graph shows you the increase of the interest rates from January 2022 to present. The rates started in the 3s, and fast forward 10 months into the year, the rates are around 7%. What does this mean for buyers in the marketplace? It means more opportunity. A few months back, buyers were offering tens of thousands of dollars over list price, waiving home inspections, waiving bank appraisals, waiving mortgage contingencies, and they still weren't getting the deal. In fact, the average buyer was placing 12 offers on a home before they actually secured a contract. It was very challenging and very competitive. Fast forward 6 months, that is not the situation today. The truth is many buyers have fallen out of the marketplace because of affordability and resulting in more balanced negotiations between buyer and seller. These days, buyers are in a stronger position to negotiate more favorable terms. What does this mean for sellers? Several months ago, the average seller was receiving anywhere from 10 to 15 offers on their property. This allowed sellers to negotiate the very best terms for themselves, and if the first buyer didn't agree, it was okay because there were several other offers on the table as backup. That is not the case today. The sellers have to be a little bit more competitive and flexible in their offerings. There are less buyers in the marketplace due to affordability as well as more inventories on the market. So sellers are now having to prep their home for sale. They're having to make repairs, they're having to declutter, they're having to paint and do all of those things to make their home show in its best possible light before it hits the market. That way it's competitive with all the other inventory for sale. So gone are the days where sellers were receiving 15, 16 offers on a home. Today, they're receiving on average 2 to 3, which is more balanced and more healthy and more normal back to a stabilizing market. Why I don't believe the real estate market is going to crash. According to the National Association of Realtors, home values are caused by supply and demand, and currently the supply is not meeting the demand. In 2007, there were 116 million households versus now having 128 million households. There are 5 million more 35-year-olds in the millennial generation, which is the prime housing age, than there were in 2007. According to Zillow, close to 40% of homes that are currently owned are mortgage-free. In 2022, 98% of our buyers purchased homes with 35% and greater down payment, many purchasing all cash and not needing financing. The demand is there and there's a lot of equity in these homes. This is not a repeat of 2008. People bought homes with low down payments and overnight the properties were worth less, meaning that the banks had to eventually foreclose on many residents throughout the country. Because of the strict guidelines over the last few years, mortgages were given to people that can afford them. What is happening in the Queens market specifically? As every real estate market is different, the media shares data in the US as a whole, but I want to share specifically what is happening in our local market of Queens, New York. Year over year, we are down in number of transactions, but what the media fails to share with you is that we are up in sales price by 7%. In 2021, the average sales price was $922,000 versus January to October 2022, where the average sales price is $971,000 in Queens County. Many economists are predicting that home values will continue to rise for the foreseeable future. I want to share with you what I'm seeing today as the interest rates have increased from 6 to 7%. In the last 30 days, I put 10 homes under contract in Queens County. The average real estate agent sells 2 to 3 homes a year. Now, those homes range from pricing $748,000 up to 1.3. I can't share with you the actual sold prices, contract prices, because it hasn't become public information as of yet, but I can tell you out of those 10 homes, 4 of those homes sold over asking price, 3 of those homes sold for full list price, and 3 of those homes sold a little bit below asking price, averaging my 100% list to sales price, just yet proving that the real estate market in Queens is still remaining strong. This would be impressive a few months back, but this is incredible considering the recent market shift. It's all perspective and how you look at things. The reason I'm sharing this data with you is because I want you to feel comfortable and educated in making a financial decision on purchasing or selling at this time. How to survive through the market shift. Don't be distracted by the headlines. We are living in difficult times. I mean, we just survived a global pandemic. It is true that the real estate market has shifted, but as the great Heraclitus once quoted, the only thing that is constant is change. The changing mortgage rate is not the end of the world. I personally bought my house in 2007 and got my interest rate for 7%. So don't let the noise of the media pull you away from your goals and your dreams of being a homeowner. It's the people that ignore the real facts and data, those are the ones who struggle. The economy is not the issue, but rather people's confidence in the economy. Just a quick personal story. In 2008, I opened up my real estate brokerage. It was the worst financial year since the Great Depression. Many people had commented that it was a shaky time to start a new business, and especially a real estate business. But within 6 months, we were the #1 sales team in Queens, and we had gained a ton of market share, helping buyers and sellers buy and sell during those difficult times, proving my point that real estate will continue to rise and people will always buy and sell. Should you be timing the market? People should not be waiting for the perfect time to buy or sell. It's about knowing the value of your personal needs and your lifestyle and when it's the right time for you. Nobody can really time the market because what's happening today won't become public information or be reported by the media for another 2 to 3 months, which at that point the real estate market will have already changed. I'm not going to be one of those realtors that say now is the best time to buy, cash them while you can. Timing the market just doesn't work. Rather, you should be looking at your individual goals and your real estate goals to see if it's right for you. As a buyer, you truly need to understand your finances. If you have a good down payment, you have a good stable job, and you see yourself living in that house for at least 5 years, buying a home might be the right thing for you. The interest rate really doesn't matter. What you really want to look at is what your monthly payment's going to be. Because the sales price, you're not married to that. That will change over time. But the monthly payment, that is what you're committing to. And yes, if you buy today, you will pay a bit of a higher rate and a higher monthly expense. But the truth is, you could always refinance when the rates come down. And as a seller, if you know that it's the right time to sell, whether you're having a baby and you need to upgrade to a bigger house, or you're downsizing because you don't need all that space anymore, if you run your numbers and you can afford to make the move, then you should actually sell. Another point I want to make is if you're selling one property to move into another, you're actually buying and selling in the same market. So you as a seller having to be more flexible here with your buyer, when you go to purchase, you're going to have that flexibility with the seller that you're buying from. So it's pretty similar market conditions. Throughout my experience, I've seen people try and time the market. And this is very true when it comes to buying. I've seen buyers hold off from buying, thinking that prices are going to drop, only yet to not be able to afford to even get on the property ladder. So listening to friends and relatives is great, but you really should be talking to a local expert who truly understands every detail of the real estate market that is happening today. In a hot real estate market, anyone can sell real estate. But as things become more challenging, it's important to work with a proven professional that has a track record. Here's how we've remained #1 in Queens for the last 2 decades. Firstly, it's experience. I've negotiated thousands of deals in my real estate career, and every single one of them being different. I've overcome many, many challenges and helped clients navigate all the way to the finish line. Second reason is we're very proactive in marketing rather than reactive. We do mega open houses, we do online advertising, we do professional photography, we do videos, we do door knocking, circle prospecting, whatever it takes to get as many eyeballs and buyers viewing your property. That's the key for sellers to win in this market. Thirdly, we have a strong administrative team that follows up on your transaction all the way from A to Z, so you will be informed throughout the whole process of what is happening with your house sale. Next, we have a very diverse sales team. We have agents on my team that speak multiple languages such as Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, and Croatian to be able to cater to the diverse market in Queens. We have a wide range of vendors list that can help prepare your home for the market, such things as painting, decluttering, making repairs, or charity donations. We want to make sure that your home is showing in its absolute best light, so when it hits the market, you're getting top dollar in a quick time frame. In a highly competitive real estate market, I've been the #1 real estate agent in Queens for the last 5 years. It pays to work with a proven expert to help you reach your real estate goals. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for more real estate advice.